What if I told you your entire life could shift in the next 24 hours? Not because the world changes, but because you finally decide to. Most people wait years hoping for a breakthrough. But the truth is brutal and simple. Breakthroughs don't arrive. They're built. And they're built one day at a time. Today can be that day if you choose it. Most people don't realize how quickly they surrender their day. It doesn't happen with a dramatic meltdown or a catastrophic decision. It happens in the first quiet seconds of the morning. The moment your alarm goes off and you negotiate with yourself. That negotiation determines everything. Because the second you choose comfort over commitment, you hand the steering wheel of your life to the same habits that kept you stuck yesterday. Claiming your day means recognizing that the first battle is the smallest and the most defining. It's not about waking up early, it's about waking up in authority. We've been conditioned to believe that life is shaped by big turning points, new jobs, big opportunities, life-changing connections. But the truth is, your life is shaped in the invisible moments. The decisions nobody sees, the choices nobody applauds. Standards create discipline, and discipline creates freedom. You don't rise to your dreams, you rise to your standards and bring your dreams with you. Finally, claiming your day is an act of self-respect. It's a declaration that your time matters, your purpose matters, and your life is worth leading with intention. When you stop drifting through your days and start designing them, you stop living by chance and start living by choice. The power was never missing, you were just never taught to claim it. The moment you do, everything else begins to shift. Most people confuse movement with progress. They stay busy from morning to night, juggling small tasks, checking boxes, feeling productive, but never actually moving their life forward. Busyness becomes a disguise, a way to feel accomplished without confronting the work that truly matters. The truth is harsh but liberating. A packed schedule can still mean an empty direction. When you focus on 10 minor tasks, you scatter your power. But when you choose one meaningful strategic action, you multiply it. One power move has more impact than 100 shallow efforts. A power move is not just another task, it's the action with the highest return on your future. It's the thing you've been avoiding because you know it requires courage, energy, and commitment. It's the email that could open a door, the call you've been delaying, the chapter you need to write, the workout that changes your self-respect, the decision that shifts your identity. These aren't tasks, they're levers, big levers. When you pull them, everything else in your life starts to shift. Most people avoid power moves because they feel heavy, but the weight is exactly what makes them transformative. When you wake up and identify your power move for the day, you give your life direction. You create clarity in a world filled with distractions. Without clarity, you fall into the trap of responding to whatever screams the loudest. Messages, notifications, demands, other people's expectations. But focusing on a single power move forces you to step out of reaction mode and into intention. You choose your mission for the day instead of letting the day choose you. And once your mission is set, everything else becomes secondary, not because it's unimportant, but because it's not what will change your life. Executing your power move requires more than motivation. It demands protection. You have to guard that time like it's sacred. You have to turn off the noise, close the doors, silence the distractions, and commit your entire energy to that one action. Most people fail not because the move is too hard, but because they never give it their full focus. They multitask themselves into mediocrity. When you dedicate uninterrupted time to a single high-impact action, your productivity becomes sharper, deeper, and far more meaningful. You stop nibbling at your dreams and start feeding them. The beauty of focusing on one power move is that it builds momentum. When you complete something truly significant early in your day, you shift your entire internal state. You feel stronger, more confident, more capable. Momentum is addictive and it spreads. Suddenly, you're not dragging yourself through the day, you're driving it. Small tasks become easier because you've already conquered the hardest one. Progress creates energy, and energy fuels consistency. That's how breakthroughs happen. Not through random bursts of effort, but through concentrated impact, repeated daily. Choosing one power move each day teaches you to value depth over speed, direction over chaos, and growth over comfort. It forces you to ask yourself what actually matters today, not what looks productive, not what feels urgent, not what keeps you busy, but what moves your life forward in the most meaningful way. When you learn to answer that question and then act on it, you stop playing small, you stop wasting your potential on trivial tasks. You start leading your life with precision, purpose, and power. Most people underestimate the influence their environment has on their ambition. They think willpower alone is enough to carry them. But even the strongest mind can be worn down by the wrong surroundings. Your environment is shaping you every second through the energy around you, the habits it encourages, and the standards it normalizes. If you're surrounded by clutter, chaos, or people who settle for less, you will eventually absorb that energy without realizing it. Owning your 24 hours means owning the space where those hours unfold. The moment you understand that your environment is either building you or breaking you, everything changes. When you elevate your environment, you elevate your identity. Your space should remind you of where you're going, not where you've been stuck. A messy room mirrors a messy mind. A distracted environment creates a distracted life. You don't need a perfect space, you need an intentional one. Clean the desk, remove what drains you, add what fuels you. Create a setting where your goals feel natural, not forced. Because the truth is simple, you rise faster in places designed for growth. When your surroundings support your purpose, discipline becomes easier, not harder. But environment isn't just physical, it's emotional. The people around you set the temperature of your mindset. Some people light your fire, others suffocate it. You must learn to recognize who multiplies your ambition and who diminishes it. If you keep company with individuals who avoid challenges, complain constantly, or reject responsibility, you'll start mirroring that energy without even noticing. Elevating your environment sometimes means elevating your circle too. It requires courage to distance yourself from those who pull you backward. But everything you want sits on the other side of that courage. There will be moments when you have to walk away from environments that once felt familiar, comfortable, even safe. Growth often demands separation, not because you're better than anyone else, but because you're becoming someone you've never been. When you stay in environments that no longer align with your purpose, you shrink to fit the space. When you step out, you expand to fit your potential. Removing yourself from the wrong environments isn't abandonment, it's evolution. And evolution requires space. If you can't change the environment, change your position within it. There are times when you can't immediately relocate or remove certain people, but you can shift your boundaries. You start aligning your actions with someone who already crossed the finish line. Most people consult their past before making decisions. They let old mistakes, old failures, and old insecurities act like advisors. But the past is not your counselor, it's your classroom. You don't ask your past, what should I do? You ask your future, who do I need to be? Your future self has perspective your past self could never give you. And when you listen to that voice, your higher voice, you stop letting your history dictate your destiny. You shift from replaying old stories to writing new ones. Speaking to your future self also forces honesty. They won't let you hide behind excuses. They won't accept the watered-down version of who you want to be. That voice inside you knows when you're slacking. It knows when you're capable of more. It knows when you're shrinking to fit a comfort zone that's beneath you. When you ask your future self for guidance, they answer with truth, not convenience. They speak from the level you're striving for, not the level you're settling at. And that kind of honesty fuels growth like nothing else. This connection becomes even more powerful when you let your future self speak back to you through your daily actions. When you choose the healthier meal, that's your future self showing up. When you start the project you've been delaying, that's your future self leading. When you set boundaries that protect your peace, that's your future self taking control. Every action becomes a conversation, an exchange between who you've been and who you're becoming. And the more you listen to that future version of you, the louder and clearer their voice becomes. Eventually, you stop treating your future self as a distant vision and start treating them as a partner in your daily life. You make choices based on alignment, not impulse. You move with intention instead of drifting through routines. You stop betraying yourself with small, silent decisions that seem harmless but cost you momentum. When you consistently act in harmony with your future identity, you don't just change your habits, you change your standard. You elevate your expectations. You grow into the kind of person your future self already knows you can. Most people end their day on autopilot, never stopping to evaluate what they actually did with the time they were given. They collapse into bed, exhausted but not fulfilled, busy but not productive, active but not progressing. Reflection isn't part of their routine because they're afraid of what they might discover. But if you want to transform your life, you must confront the truth of your day with honesty, not avoidance. The way you end your day is just as important as the way you start it. It's an audit of your choices, your effort, and your alignment with who you want to become. Honest reflection builds a bridge between intention and action. Anyone can set goals in the morning when motivation is high. But it takes real courage to look back at the end of the day and ask, did I live like the person I'm trying to be? That question cuts deep. It exposes the moments where you slipped, the excuses you leaned on, the tasks you avoided, and the strength you underestimated. But it also highlights your wins, your discipline, your progress, your resilience. Reflection isn't self-criticism, it's self-clarity, and clarity is power. When you examine your day, you learn about your patterns, what triggers your procrastination, what drains your energy, what distracts your focus, what elevates your performance. You begin to understand your tendencies, and tendencies shape destiny. Most people repeat the same unproductive cycles, not because they lack potential, but because they lack awareness. Reflection breaks that cycle. It gives you insight so you can adjust, refine, and correct your course. You stop repeating yesterday and start designing tomorrow. This daily evaluation also teaches discipline. When you know you'll have to answer to yourself at night, you move differently throughout the day. You raise your standards. You catch yourself when you're slipping. You stay accountable because you're not just living moment to moment, you're living with intention. The end-of-day reflection becomes your internal compass, guiding you toward consistency. And consistency is what turns effort into evolution. Ending your day with truth also builds trust with yourself. Most people don't struggle with ambition. They struggle with self-trust. They don't believe their own promises because they've broken them too many times. Reflection rebuilds that trust through honesty and accountability. Each day becomes an opportunity to prove to yourself that you follow through, that you show up, that you're committed to growth. Self-trust is the foundation of confidence, and every honest reflection strengthens it. When you take time to review your day, you reclaim authority over your life. You're no longer drifting through time, you're directing it. You become the author, not the observer. Every evening becomes a review of who you were today and who you choose to be tomorrow. You learn, you adapt, you rise. And with each honest evaluation, you step closer to the version of yourself you've been fighting to become. Most people carry their purpose like a fading memory, something they think about once in a while, instead of something they intentionally reconnect with every single day. Purpose isn't permanent unless you protect it. It doesn't stay strong unless you feed it. If you don't renew your purpose daily, life will bury it under stress, noise, responsibilities, and routines. That's why so many people feel lost even when they're busy. They're moving, but not toward anything that truly matters. Renewing your purpose every day is the spark that reignites your fire before the world tries to dim it. Purpose is not just some grand vision of the future, it's the anchor that keeps you aligned when everything around you tries to pull you off course. When you start your day reconnecting with why you're doing what you're doing, your choices become sharper, your actions become intentional, your energy becomes focused. Without a daily reminder of your purpose, it's easy to slip back into patterns that don't reflect your goals. You start living reactively instead of intentionally. Renewing your purpose brings your life back into alignment, grounding you in meaning instead of momentum alone. Many people wait for motivation to remind them of their purpose, but motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes with your mood, your circumstances, even the weather. Purpose, however, is a force you can activate. It's something you revisit, reflect on, and recommit to. When you remind yourself daily of the life you're building, the people you're serving, the future you're shaping, your discipline strengthens. You stop seeing your daily actions as chores and start seeing them as contributions to something bigger. When purpose is present, effort becomes meaningful instead of draining. Renewing your purpose also helps you refine it. The world you want today may not be the world you wanted 2 years ago, and the person you're becoming may require a deeper, more evolved purpose than the one you started with. Checking in daily allows you to adjust your direction without losing momentum. You can ask yourself real questions. Is this still what I want? Is this still who I want to become? Does this goal still reflect my values? Renewal doesn't just reinforce your purpose, it sharpens it, keeping it aligned with your growth. This daily reconnection becomes a source of strength when life gets hard. Challenges don't hit as hard when you remember why you're fighting. Obstacles feel smaller when the vision in front of you is bigger. Purpose turns struggle into strategy, setbacks into lessons, and effort into investment. When you renew your purpose, you give yourself emotional resilience. You build a mindset that doesn't crumble under pressure because you're connected to something that matters more than the moment you're stuck in. When you end each day with truth and begin each day with purpose, you create a powerful cycle. You learn, you grow, you realign, and you recommit. Purpose becomes your compass, your fuel, and your standard. It keeps you focused when distractions call your name, and disciplined when excuses whisper in your ear. Renewing your purpose daily is not a ritual, it's a declaration. A declaration that you refuse to